Alright, well, Zane's ICs horribly failed. He said that if he were to bring out the ICs this set, it would only be game 5 because, like, obviously it's not up to par right now. Because it really screwed up the feel of his Marth, he's only going to save ICs for game 5 at the moment because, you know, ICs not really Zane's dual main. If he has counterpick advantage, he'll bring out ICs, but for the most part, he'll stick out the first 4 games guaranteed being Marth. And I just really want to break down on how Zain plays a lot of positions against Leffen for my sake. And a lot of how Zain tries to set up his neutral openings versus Sheik is zoning like this, where he's going to try to set up his fairs, his down tilt, knows that Leffen is grounded, and he could set up for a dash dance grab. Like, he's really good at setting up dash dance grab and stuff like this when the Sheik is drifting forward to fair. You notice how he tried to dash dance grab, drift in place fair. You can't dash dance grab that. Or at least you can't dash dance grab that without a read. And it's funny that, like, Zain is capable of doing that. The reason why Zain said that his dash dance game got so good with Marth, the dash dance grab part, is because of his Roy. Because all Roy has is dash dance grab, because he doesn't really have any anti-aerials, and that kind of transferred over to his Marth. But also, there's also obvious limitations. Like, there's a reason why Roy is a dog shit character, because he can't anti-air, and at least Marth has options. Like, he could, in theory, like, dash attack this, he could rise and fair, he could grab. I think Zain, he does try to dash attack, like, the non-drift forward fairs. He just wasn't as aware here. But yeah, classic Zain, dash back all the way to the edge. Just times this up till a little too late. Or he just slightly mistimes it. This was a really good read. He times it a little too early though. That's a shame and a half if I ever seen that. Cause that could have meant so much damage. You like call out his double jump, and you farm like 5 up tilts here. Sheik's at 100, but cause he slightly mistimed the up tilt, he's not getting it, and that's a shame. Cause Marth really needs that. Because how I think Marth can win this matchup isn't by winning neutral 20 times in a row. It's by fighting money openers and stuff like this. That is a huge opener that Zain missed out on. And now he has to like play so much more neutral. And meanwhile, Sheik, already getting 40. Already getting 50. This could have been, instead, Zain already taking a stock after he juggled Sheik to 100. But because Zain missed that crucial up tilt opening, Sheik makes 1 read and then already got 50. And that's why, like, I don't think Marth can win matchups like these, where if the other character can hit you really hard, you can't win by just only winning neutral. Like, I think Marth could get away with playing, like, you know, a lot of neutral against Peach, for example, because, like, she can't really edge guard Marth that well, with some exceptions, like, you know, up smash. But against a character like Sheik, who will just get like a casual 50, if not a 0 to death, and edge guard you really hard. It's so rough. Leffen fucks up though, but Zain didn't land the lowest dare. That's why the grab didn't link. Unfortunate. Like, we're seeing Zain miss a lot of things just because of like the execution difficulty of this matchup, and it's sometimes you just gotta be better, you know. And he just randomly pivots there. That's not good. So much. Like, also, like, Leffen's seeing so much off of reversals. And that kind of just shows, like, kind of like the ripple effect. Like, you know, if Marth in theory hasn't messed up, then, like, Sheik loses out on, like, half of her openings, essentially. It's like how, like, Marth used to, like, bullshit win his openings versus Fox, for example, by just simply reversaling them off of an up throw up air. And I think Fox has gone better at not doing that, but it's a similar concept here, where because Zain's messing up a lot of his punishes, it's a lot closer than it needs to be. Yeah, like, if he managed to land a tipper up air there, Zain potentially gets a stock. Because he's getting reversaled. Hurts my heart. Because, like, the juggles is in theory of, like, how Marth builds up his damage, right? But because Zain is missing, like, the key... He has the blueprints. It's just he's not executing it, like, perfectly. And it's a lot closer than it needs to be. You know. Despite that, he's finding his openings. He's calling out 2 times that Zain has called out Leffen in the air. You know how in the beginning of the game I was like, oh, Zain's dash dance grabbing well. Leffen kind of responded back by kind of drifting in place. So at this low percent range, he is calling out his jump with Nair, big money maker. Catches Leffen's full hop and double jump. Doesn't execute perfectly though. That's big struggle. But manages to call him out with his movement with fair. Tipper fair is really good. Leffen, I think he landed. Still, he's opting to reversal. And Zain did a perfect job until Fallen fucked him up. That's why I don't like the stage. Just, I guess Zain should have just simply improv there better. Yeah, Fallen. Woo. Calls out jump. This is why Marth's a better character than Roy, because he has actual anti-airs that's not just dash dance grab. Could have upbeat that, but this is a huge lead where even the tipper fair would kill. Ideally, you don't want it to be here, because like she can't just kill you at this percent. But this is definitely very Marth favorite here. Could have upbeat that for sure. That works. That works. So Zain won by essentially being a better player, making better adaptations about anti-air, setting up the dash dance grab, setting up some zoning. But this should worry you a little about how Zain kind of missed key juggle setups and got reversaled a ton off of it. Like that worries me. Like if you're a Marth main, this is an example of how you could be better than the player despite not punishing very hard, but you should know that that's not sustainable, essentially. That if you're not getting a ton off of your juggles and you have to rely more on winning neutral, like Zain could have saved the outplayed stuff for the next game, but he had to kind of expend it here. And what people kind of don't really think about with neutral game, and the reason why winning infinitely can't work, is because it's a resource and you will have patterns. And if you get a stock for every neutral win that you net, your opponent probably won't remember, first of all, about your patterns, because like, they just died instantly after they had to expend so much energy trying to get out of your combos and all. But when you get like, I don't know, 10% off your neutral, they start to see a pattern, and a good enough opponent will see that and then win neutral back. And even a good player, even if you zero to death them multiple times, like they will see a pattern emerge. And that's why neutral game was ultimately a resource. And also a myth that you can't win neutral forever. Like if you're trying to win a matchup by winning neutral over and over and over again, that's just not how it works. Eventually you will get outplayed, you will get figured out, and if their punish game is better than yours, they're gonna win more on average. And seeing Zain mess up those juggles, even though he had a setup, but because he didn't execute them perfectly, it was a lot closer than it should be, and therefore he had to kind of expend a lot of his neutral resources. And look at that. He tried to outplay with shield. Leffen is now winning more neutral. He tried to nair, and Leffen could have outplayed that. Still, he caught Leffen messing up. But, yeah, Leffen outplayed a double down tilt. He's finding advantage positions. It would have been real nice if that was the first time that Leffen saw a lot of these positions, but Leffen knows. If you saved your neutral, where, Leffen's rusty from Africa, that would have been huge. That could have had a huge rippling effect, but you give Leffen time to adapt. He sees the pattern overall. He's going to adapt at some point. He's not falling for the nairs anymore. And if you notice, that's like Zain's 5th time doing a nair. What if that was his 2nd time doing the nair in this Dreamland game in the course of the set? That's why punishes are so important, man. Like, it's a resource that nobody really talks about. Oh, amazing outplay. It's so meta to Sheik to hold down and arms attack, do some holding down shenanigans that a lot of times are buffering spot dodge unintentionally. And this is an amazing punish for that. So Zain found a cheap kill in the first stock. He found an amazing outplay, but it was at 160. Meanwhile, Leffen doing his standard punish shit. Because Zain has port 1, by the way, does up throw up tilt follow-ups harder. I think if he turn around up tilts here, he wins. Like, if he turn around up tilts and this hitbox comes out sooner from the left side, maybe he catches him. So, like, if they slight DI behind, turn around up tilt is probably the answer. Yeah, gets outplayed, and then dies. Neutral is it's a limited resource. Again, just like, it's so hard to execute everything perfectly. I think maybe Zain was like, yeah, he was like a couple frames late off of his auto cancel, but he was still very fast. Executed frame perfect ledge dash, executed frame perfect ledge fast fall, but because he didn't act frame perfectly off of his auto cancel landing, didn't kill Leffen there. Imagine if he was a few frames faster, he kills Leffen there. Instead, now he has to settle for this like juggle. Kills him. But did he need to take 20% though? Like, this is important knockdown percent for Sheik. Yeah, doesn't get anything off of that fair. Meanwhile, Sheik has important knockdown on Marth. That up B could have meant everything, by the way. Like, literally, because he had 20 extra percent, that, you know, that bear dash attack is more deadly. If he was at a lower percent, maybe Zain wouldn't die there. Rippling effects, I say. Rippling effects. So let's see how... Oh, man, that was a bad full Uprising fair. Like, Marth tends to not be good at calling people out in the air. He's way better at catching their landing. It's a general rule. That was an amazing juggle. Zain did... Like, that's what he needs. That's what Zain needs to consistently land. The down smash I thought was also good, but you could double tech that, and that's unfortunate. Zain tried to go for a read, fails. That's okay. Zain's going for these reads, which I think is correct. Since Marth doesn't have too many guaranteed follow-ups, you have to read about how they land. And if you're going to read, you need to get a lot of reward off of it, which so far, in this game, Zain has been getting a shit ton of reward off of his juggle reads. He just messed up there, and that's getting reversal. Sad to see. And messing up his tech skill a little. I do think, since Zain has been playing, he's been quite the gauntlet of playing through Game 5, Game 5, Game 5, and losers. He's probably a little bit gassed right now. So much about Melee is also context. Like, people always forget, like, how context around outside the game matters. And right now, it's like, Zain's not being perfect with his execution. That's costing him so much. In key spots that I'm pointing out. Yeah, got outplayed there. Genius counter. I guess that's not how that combo works. And wow, somehow that was a really weird situation where jab just popped into the side platform, so that got him a neat little reversal. This costed Zain so much. I think, like, the reason why he went for this dare edge cancel is, one, he probably thought it was optimal, but two, how Zain says how he hacks himself up is, like, doing cool edge cancel shit. This was him trying to, I guess, like, ignite the afterburners in Zain's mechanical skill. You know, when that doesn't work out, when you're kind of very dependent on that result of, like, oh, I need to hit this edge cancel and I'll feel myself. You have to wonder if maybe something else needs to be done. He also could have just done it because he just thought it was an optimal thing to do, but still, it's like, damn. For how much I've been talking about how important Punish Game is, it's so much more devastating to SD like this. Like, reversals are probably one of the most, like, biggest killers of, like, lower level players. Because when you hit your punish, you're up 4 stocks to 3. But then when you get reversal, you're down 3 stocks to 4. And while it might look like you're a stock down, that's actually a 2 stock reversal. Because you could have taken that opponent's stock. Like, the reason why this is actually a 2 stock reversal is because, say in theory this somehow works out. Now Zain's up 3 stocks to 1. But instead now it's 2 stocks to 2. That's why reversals are the biggest difference maker of a set, and what I think probably distinguishes a higher level player to a low level player. How often do reversals happen? And this was a 2-stock swing. Like, I know it looks like a 1-stock swing. It's more of a 2-stock swing. And also, Zain did a perfect call out. But the problem with Yoshi's is that it's possible for Sheik, even if you hog their ledge, to land on Yoshi's side platform. And that's probably what Zain thought. Even then, like, he could have dropped down to Randall. So, it's really unfortunate. And now he needs to read. Reading neutral is a resource. And, oh man. Now he's down. Now he's essentially down right now. He could have been up 3 stocks to now he's down 1 stock to 2. So, not only is it actually really a 2-stock swing, maybe secretly it's more like a 4-stock swing. That's really the importance of punish. Why you can't win with just raw neutral. Going for callouts. Excellent dash back. I definitely would have gotten stuck there. By the way, I just want to say, like, an evolution from their very first set, technically not a tournament set, an exhibition set, where it was during the pandemic era, during SCL, where Zain and Leffen played. Zain got insane gimps on Leffen at the edge. Leffen doesn't get gimped anymore. And losing that resource to gimp Sheik is so huge for Sheik's survivability. And again, contributes to, like, the punish game differential. You know, like, my very first win on Plup on the SCL thing, it's all because I landed that gimp. That's how it all started. And Plup doesn't really fall for those anymore, unfortunately. I remember when it used to be so easy to gimp Sheik. And then they got better at it. Yeah. But good awareness from Zain to keep holding on the edge. If you notice here, if Sheik kind of just pulls back, her poof hitbox can't hit you. So there's no reason to you should just keep holding edge. For Marth, sometimes you need to get on stage anyways, because, like, his off the ledge option sucks. But there's times where you could just keep staying on stage. That nair is so much harder than it looks to punish. Like, Drugfox told me, to beat this nair, it's like you have to fair or forward smash. Dash Stats grabbing it is a lot harder than it looks. Like, you saw how Zain tried to grab it, and you gotta just swing at it. Amazing crouch cancel reversal. Again, doesn't hit the up tilt perfectly. Didn't turn around, and that could have been a huge swinger, you know. Varying it is hard, but it's definitely a lot easier than dash stance grabbing it. Didn't get the tipper up tilt. That actually changes a lot. He outplays him. Gets the edge cancel, but it would have been nice if you did it last game. Yeah, and then misses edge cancel there. Whatever. Amazing call out. Amazing read. Like, when you go for reads for edge guards, you need to kill with it. If you're not killing with it, you need to reevaluate how you edge guard. Like, if you're not going to kill with an edge guard, maybe settle for something that's lower risk, but you still get something. Yeah, full off fair is pretty bad. Don't go for these. Like, again, Marth gets more off of punishing landings rather than flying up there and wailing and then getting owned for it. That's literally how Zain lost his stock. He tried to meet them up there in the air. That's not how it works, unfortunately. That's like the equivalent of doing a vertical dash attack. That's how you should think about full hop fair on, like, platform stuff. You're essentially committing to a vertical dash attack, and you can't do it too many times, even if it works a few times. And I hate how it may seem like I'm trying to downplay Zain's neutral game. I love it. I, like, actually think a lot of what Zain's doing is genius level. The zoning and his, like, pattern recognition. That's just not what's going to win you this matchup, though. Like, that's just the truth of Melee, is that, like, having immaculate neutral... This set's proof that immaculate neutral isn't how you win tournament sets. It's about how do you use your neutral that can convert to a really good punish. Because at the end of the day, your neutral game is a resource. If you're not getting high EV off of your neutral openings, you just lose. Or at least, okay, let me correct that statement. You're more likely to lose to an equally skilled opponent if you're not punishing well. Catches left jump messing up. He read that missed air dodge, or that air dodge to side platform. And look at that. He got a lot off of his juggles. Does that continue to game 5? Doesn't hit the low fair, and he had the awareness to wait out the spot dodge. That's a cute outplay. But doesn't get too much off of it, unfortunately. Like, how did he miss that? It's like, he did the dare regrab, or wait at the spot dodge, but like doesn't... He does like a weird dare thing that's... Was now really the time, Zain? You just go for an up tilt or forward smash read here, right? Swag doesn't win you games. Like, here, your opponent's not fucking Zamu, Zain. No. He literally lost his stock because he tried his swag. Yeah, doesn't... I think, honestly, instead of fair here, you go for up air or dare. Like, instead of this fair, because this fair is not going to give you anything, if you read it with your up air or dare, you could potentially get a lot of it, especially up air in particular. I think there's like a world where if you falling up air dare, you could get so much off of it. Yeah, he got hit by this a lot too, which I guess he just wasn't expecting. You're supposed to dash dance grab this rather than jump. But understandable that he went for the short hop. He was trying to cover other options, and Leffen knows this, adapts with a fair. That's why neutral is a resource. Oh, messed up. If he set up that fair a little bit differently, like he did a runoff fair rather than full off fair, that could have looked differently. Yeah, has to settle with this shit. Like, I wonder if Marth could get a little bit more than this dash dance grab. Like, I think if he like rising fairs here, he gets rising weak fair, or even surprising with an instant up B as he tries to ops tech and misses it. I think that would have been better to do than grabbing here, which literally got him nothing. I think maybe down throw could have been better, so it's a forced tech chase. Tries to cover himself with that short hop bear edge guard in case they like double jump fair, but Zain does. Leffen does a mix up where he just instant up Bs instead. To beat that, you just grab the ledge, but then yeah, you're not beating the double jump aerial. Dash dance grab. Very tight dash dance that got Zain nothing. Really is playing like his Roy, getting absolutely nothing off your openings. It's very sad to see. Zain was cooking. He was cooking. But he got battlefielded. He up B too close to the edge. So there's this bullshit mechanic where battlefield, if you up B too close to it, you just don't grab the ledge. And because he up B'd a little bit too close to the sun, it was such a good attempt because that caught his double jump, and he could have potentially gotten like a good juggle off of it. But because he got battlefielded, he died. That's unfortunate. That's an example of a 2-stock swing, by the way. And now he is like heavily at a deficit. And then yeah, gets hit by that double jump fair again. Yeah, if only that linked. And he got hit by that full out falling fair again. It's like pattern that Zain didn't recognize. Also, the problem of having a perfect neutral game is like, what if they introduce new fault variables? Like, Leffen hit him with that full hop falling fair like 4 times in a row at this point, because he hasn't seen it before, and Zain's not prepared to dash dance grab that, and there's always going to be a variable that you don't know. Like, that's actually a fact. You could be literal Einstein 500 IQ genius. There's going to be new variables that you don't recognize in time, and then you lose. You know, if Marths want to have a better chance of beating Sheik, we need to be hitting our juggles better, first and foremost. We need to be having higher value reads and our openings in general. Figure out how we could get better reads off of our tech chasing. Get a little bit more value there. Maybe push some things, like try not to like do the same thing for edge guards over and over again. Make some hard reads there. And especially if it's just going to kill, go for it, right? and like know to mix up stare. You know, like there's just so many moments where Zain just got reverse sold. He didn't quite hit his juggle string. He got reverse sold a ton. He SD'd a weird amount of times. Those are 2 stock swings, not just 1 stock swings. And imagine if he didn't get reverse sold, I think Zain wins the set. Because his neutral was honestly immaculate. That's not the thing that rewards you in Melee, though. What gets rewarded in Melee is how hard you hit. And Zain didn't hit hard enough. That's something that I'm going to try to work on. That's something that all of you guys, regardless of the matchup, should try to work on more. Yeah, that's the analysis of LACS. And grateful that Ludwig hosted the event. That I got invited. And I look forward to growing better as a player from here. Also, like, comment, and subscribe.